What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of 27 and Q. Where has that man been? Right there, fixing the camera, the naked backdrop behind him, the two-time Super Bowl champ from the New York Football Giants, number 26
Hey,
running back, Brandon Jacobs. I'm Rich Quinones, as always. I appreciate everyone keeping us locked in. Big man, I feel as though it's the off season. We haven't seen each other, and now we regroup with training camp. A week or two away from each other, it's no good for me. It's no bueno. It's
yeah,
sad.
man. No, we definitely got to get going more often. Football season or not, we got a good basketball season
Yeah.
ahead of us. We got a lot of things going on. So of course, we got the Super Bowl coming. Had some really interesting championship games last week. We got some Arian Foster news about his script that I never got, but it's quite a lot of things to talk about, man.
Yeah, let's kind of rewind a little bit. I know you don't want to spend too much time in it because I know you were traveling and I was calling the fights, the bad performance by the Giants against the Eagles. I mean, look, it is what it is. You get blown out in playoff games, things happen. Uh, my only thought on that was you can see the separation between the two teams, right? Just how good Philadelphia is and where the New York Giants need to do a lot more work. But I didn't like the fact that they basically came into that game unprepared. And that's kind of what bothered me the most. I didn't expect them to win the game. I just don't know how you go on the road, divisional opponent, a house of horrors, a team that's owned you for 15 years, and you put up that kind of effort.
It's called being satisfied. Rich, they have overcome a season where nobody thought they would do. Um, when no one thought that they would do what they did. Myself, for what I had them winning at the beginning of the season, to me, they underachieved. And I think they could have really won 12 games this year. I mean, they could. It's 3 games in there that I know for sure that they would have won the regular season game.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. The Lions game, you got the Lions, then you got the Minnesota game where the guy kicked a 61-yard field goal. They dropped one.
Washington tie.
Right. So that's 12 wins right there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for myself and my organization, we didn't get those 12 wins. But we made it to the playoffs. We beat a team in Minnesota that we should have beat, a few weeks prior. So, I mean, I see the Giants making it to the playoffs and going to the second round. I've been leaps and bounds ahead of where they've been in the past since 2016. So I kind of sense some, so I kind of have some sense of satisfaction there from the people that there at the facility, coaches and players. I thought they went into the Philadelphia game a little bit satisfied as overachievers, which that's not how I think. But they went in as that game, and I think with a whole off season, to build up and do some things for agency, maybe get rid of some people, create some space in the cap, and do some things. I think maybe going forward, the Giants could be a force to be reckoned with in the NFC East.
So a little housekeeping. They did apparently, as reported, offer Saquon 3 years at $12 million a year. He's obviously looking for about $16 million. I don't believe they're gonna. You said this several months ago. You would know the Giants don't pay running backs. If you franchise tag them, it's $10 million. But do you want to tie up $10 million in cap space on a running back? So I don't know what they do with Saquon. I'm starting to believe more and more, even though he's the primary spark within that offense and he's a playmaker, I almost get the sense that they're going to let him walk.
I know they would, which sucks for me because I'm a big fan. I think Saquon Barkley still has a lot in the tank. Super explosive. He showed that throughout this year. Battled some injuries all year long, but he didn't sit on the bench. He didn't, he wasn't on IR. He was there and he was available and he was ready.
You give him the peace out scene, you think he walks?
I think he walks because I want him to get his worth, man. I mean, you got guys in the league making more than that's not better than him.
Yeah,
I just call it what it is.
But is he so when you look at, say, Christian McCaffrey and what he does catching the ball out of backfield, Saquon's good receiver. We've seen it. Is he on the same level as McCaffrey, or you think he's better. I mean, and remember, after that Texans game that he had those carries and it was a $152, his production dropped off. He was hurt, he was banged up. So how much do you invest in the running back position?
Well, you can't ask me that, Rich, because it'll be the most expensive. Because running backs will be the highest paid guys on the field. If you ask me, because of all the stuff that we do, like not, I think we are in every asset of the game. We are. We run up and down the field on special teams. We run the ball. We catch the ball. We block. We do everything. I just think that we're definitely worth more than what we've been getting. But I do think Saquon Barkley needs among the top, the top three in the league getting paid, which is Zeke, Christian McCaffrey, and who else? Is it Alvin Kamara, the third
Kamara
one?
has that big deal. Cook signed that deal. Yep.
Right. So I'm not sure that the Giants would be willing to, fit that type of bill on Saquon or any other running back for that matter. But I'm just interested to see what what happens. Yes, he is on the same level, if not better than McCaffrey. They do a lot with McCaffrey. It's not Saquon's fault that the Giants choose not to use him like San Francisco and the Carolina Panthers use McCaffrey. I mean, is he capable of doing that? Absolutely, he is. Yeah, he's capable of doing it. But the offense just doesn't use him like that.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. And I think what happens when you draft a running back and then a quarterback top 10, within a year or two, or, back to back or 2 out of 3 years, you're not going to be able to pay everyone. Daniel Jones, 5 years they're looking at. Now I'm seeing numbers where 35 million a year. Listen, I don't think he's a $35 million a year quarterback. It's not my money. I don't care. Whatever they pay him, they pay him. But I'm just saying.
I hope he get his bread, but I don't see him being a $35 million.
No, I think
what Aaron Rodgers is making this year. Well, he's making like he's like 46 or 7.
He's coming back for, I think the number's like 60 something on million. That's the only reason that he hasn't decided that he's going to walk away and retire. Here's the problem with like Aaron Rodgers. Now there's the rumors, the Raiders and the Jets and maybe San Francisco. I know the Jets are really starting to kind of flirt here with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to stretch it out. And we have all off season to talk about what the Giants are going to do. We can talk
just hired Nathaniel. Didn't they hire Nathaniel? What's wrong?
Nathaniel Hackett, yeah. But that doesn't necessarily, what does that mean? They thought they did that in Denver. What happens? Aaron Rodgers spurns them and they have to go to let Russ cook. And he has
cook, baby.
No, he's been marinating.
Mm-hmm.
He's been marinating like that shellfish. I think you had shellfish in your Instagram story. It was marinating. That's what Russ Wilson is doing. All right, we'll get into Brady and Rodgers. All right. Conference championships, obviously San Francisco. Listen, it's a bad spot there. The kid Purdy goes down. You and I both thought that was a ready-made defense going into Philly to beat the Eagles. They knock them out of the game. The Eagles handled their business. And then you had Kansas City over Cincinnati. I kind of want to get through those games. Let's start with the Eagles and San Francisco. Two things. When the NFL incorporated that expedited replay rule, right? So if there's a questionable play, so to speak, that Devontae Smith, clearly it was not a catch early on in that game. If you're Shanahan and you realize it's the NFC Championship, don't you have to have a little more sense or someone in your ear, throw the flag just for the hell of it, challenge it, because that basically changed the complexion of the game early on.
Early on, too. Early on. And I knew he didn't catch the ball. I saw the ball hit the ground during the play.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, they're getting up trying to get back on the ball. And Devontae is trying to tell them, come on, let's go. Man, correct. You know he didn't catch the ball. That's what you look at right there. But overall, though, man, for the game, I'm just absolutely kind of disappointed in a way. I shouldn't say that. I take it back. I'm sorry. San Francisco offensively I know they stalled without their quarterback. You're on the third string now. Now you go to your fourth string guy who's absolutely scared as shit in there, and making mistake after mistake, which I get. But I'm just, just the offensive play from one of the most strong uh, offenses in what they do, their ability to produce
Yes.
up at the top of the league. And just, I didn't see that even with, Purdy went out pretty early. But I mean, and another thing I'm gonna say about a lot of these guys, man, like it's definitely a new day in football. But guys are sitting out of playoff games. I don't know if Purdy could have went out there like before or not. Right, I know his arm was shot. I see him they try to throw screens with him just for him to throw these to those soft dumps. But I just seen a lot of guys, man, like just like sitting out, just for like, for the life of me, I don't get it. I'd have went in the back, dumped some cortisone in that joint, did a massage it in a little bit, probably took another Toradol shot. Man, let's go, man. Take me to the field, coach. Where
Yeah.
we go from here, So
They shoot you up right at halftime. They shoot you up right at halftime.
They will shoot me up as soon as I feel like I'm hurt and I can't go back. They're gonna shoot me up if I go out in the first quarter.
Yeah.
If I go out in the first quarter, and it's like 8 minutes left to go in the front, I'm gonna be back in the game in the second quarter.
But that play and Hassan Riddick, he's a Jersey guy, he's a Camden guy.
Yo, he is an absolute monster.
I wanted the Giants to go. He's a game wrecker. And we talk about Donald and Bosa and Parsons.
Man,
Hassan, he flat out. Now you got to start to
boy
see.
can play.
Yeah, but the point is, let's just say that's not a catch and it's 0-0. Now the play calling changes obviously a little bit, where maybe it's, in hindsight, I get it, but maybe they're running the ball a little more and you're not dropping him back to pass, knowing that offensive line had some cracks. I mean, listen, Hurts didn't need to be spectacular, but this whole notion that the Eagles haven't played anyone and this narrative, but you're a player, you won 2 Super Bowls. The toughest road is to go on the road and win in the playoffs. But are you really going to turn around as a player and apologize for knocking a quarterback out or for playing on the schedule?
Hell no, I ain't about to apologize to nobody for knocking no quarterback out. That's what you do. Let's see how much better the guy is behind him.
Yeah.
Come on, partner. You got your opportunity. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's the NFL.
They're a good team, man, and they got all their weapons firing. I still think Hurts is probably a little compromised, but he's going to be a gamer. He'll be out there in Arizona. And then you had Kansas City. I thought it was a good game.
They should have lost, though, Rich. They should have lost.
All right.
There was so much in that game.
Okay. Was it on the plays? Was it on BS calls, lack of calls, the officiating? Because you go back to the Eagles game, how many times can we have called Lane Johnson offsides or these bad PI calls? So we'll get into that in a second, but you said Kansas City should have lost that game. Based on, are we talking flat out officials?
No, I mean, you're talking like flat out officials. I'm talking about missed opportunities.
Yeah.
So many missed opportunities to turn like they didn't capitalize on a lot of things that they got offensively. The play calling, I don't think the play calling was the same as it had been in the past with Cincy. They didn't have that many run attempts, and I think Joe Burrow. I just think they hadn't do too much.
They got the ball back twice with 6 minutes to go, and he couldn't get it done. He could not. He had the tip pick, which is unfortunate. But to your point, I pulled up. This is a 23-20 game, right? He dropped back to pass 41 times. You know how many carries Joe Mixon had for Cincinnati?
Well, how many he had?
8.
See, you can't win like that. When you've been giving the guy the ball, the guy been averaging 13, 14, 15 carries a game, at least.
Yeah, I don't get it. He had 20 against Buffalo for $105. He averaged 5.3. He had 11 against Baltimore for 40, averaged 3.5. And then he had 8 attempts for 19 yards. And you can say that Kansas City was trying to attack the line of scrimmage or put, 4 or 5 or 6 in the box. I didn't see that. I went back and I watched the game, and Mixon's a good receiver out of the backfield as well. Bubble screens, get him in the flow of the offense. I thought Kansas City, as you said, I thought Kansas City got lucky to win that game. What did you think of the officiating in the game, and especially the roughing the passer play late in the game by Osai?
I mean, I didn't think the officiating was that extremely horrible. And I didn't think the roughing the passer, the late hit, was even a factor. You ask me. I'm not even.
It wasn't.
I think it wasn't a factor. I mean, people. I do think guys gonna feel like shit because he's a competitor. He feel like he let his team down, but at the end of the day, you got your right tackle that just gave up a sack on third down. It was third down and 13 or 14. He drops back, gives up a sack. Right, so that's they back further. Then you got a punter that comes in the game and kick a line drive punt.
Bingo.
Right, you got a line you got a line drive punt. You get this return all this time. He gets 20, 25, 30 yards on the punt return back to midfield. 2 plays after, you get a quarterback trying to run for a first down. Well, what it had him third down and 5 or third down and 4 or something like that. Quarterback, I know where to go with the ball. Good coverage. He drops back, know where to go, tries to run with it. Gets the first down and get pushed.
Yeah.
As he's like 2 steps out, like he get pushed. It was late, yeah, it was late, but I don't think that play determined whether or not the game was won or lost by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Agree, but the flag still by definition you have to throw the flag, right?
By definition, you have to throw it. He 2 feet out of bounds. You don't touch the quarterback.
Then what's happening with some of these really blatant obvious, like Joe Burrow was tackled and they drove him down. That by rule, by definition, should have been roughing the passer. I think the PI.
Did he have the ball?
Yes. He was sacked.
Right. You can't have rushing the passer when you got the ball. I mean, roughing the passer when you got the ball.
You can't drive these guys into the ground.
Crazy, Rich. You can drive your guys into the ground as long as they got the ball.
The rule they changed that rule. You watch, you drive him into the ground, you throw him, you fling him, or you pile drive on top of him. They're throwing the flag. They didn't throw it in this case. The phantom call on Hilton, the PI call was a BS call. I go back to the Eagles game where Johnson, your guy OC basically tweeted out and said, no. It's called timing the snap, understanding the snap count.
He was good at that.
Well, then he knows what he's talking about, because from my vantage point, watching it on the tube, it seems like they're jumping all over the place. Everyone now comes out on Monday and Tuesday, and we go back to the conversation about the NFL and the officiating. And then in your brother and former running back, Arian Foster, who I guess said it sarcastically.
I gotta believe that. I have to believe it was sarcastic.
You believe it was sarcastic, him saying the NFL is rigged and scripted?
It had to be. The only script Arian had on his seat for game for the week is the top 20 plays that you're gonna run in that game, or whatever the top the practice script is for that week. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about a rigged script or what they're telling him what to do.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, so talked about the NFL being the ring, latest mess, blah, 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 blah. I think that's a very, fixed and rigged. It's strong words, man, because then it obviously implies a lot of shadiness. It implies there's the gambling element, the betting element. But how do you, I don't believe the NFL is rigged. And I'm a big, when it comes to conspiracy theories, I might buy into a lot of them, but I can't for the life of me watch a game and say the NFL, it's predetermined who's going to win that game, even if it's scripted or rigged, because it doesn't. So are you going to tell me that when Eli escapes the grass and the ball sticks to David Tyree's head like this is scripted? This is scripted.
That is not scripted.
I mean, you can go on and on. You can go to the Super Bowl when they were up. Atlanta was up 28-3. All right, New England's down 25. Let's script it. Let's have these guys come back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. When you
the NFL is not rigged, man. There's too much hard work goes into it every day by a lot of different people to get wins. If the NFL was rigged, I think about these guys, coaches would never get fired.
Correct.
So they're losing games. But if it's scripted and they rigged and it's supposed to lose, well, then why are they firing these guys?
Yeah, but see, when you have a prominent player like he was, prominent player like you, or when you come out and you make that joke, whether it's sarcastic or not,
People go with it.
people take the bait. And now everyone comes out and they want to look at all these different plays. And I just think the officiating flat out stinks. And I think there's 4 or 5 plays during a game on either side where it should have been called. It shouldn't have been called. Look, we're hoops guys. We're NBA guys. Back in the 80s, when the Celtics were playing the Lakers, or Detroit was playing the Lakers in the finals, and they called Lambeer for a ticky-tack foul in game 7 and 88 against the Lakers, and Kareem went to the line and sank both of them. They called Lambeer for that foul because of what he did in the first quarter, in the second quarter. In the NBA, it's a makeup call. Do you believe there's makeup calls in the NFL?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I wouldn't say that's rigged. That might happen 1 or 2 times. But I wouldn't say it rigged like that. I mean, you give somebody a BS call, and you turn around 2 or 3 plays later and give a call like you like, absolutely, that was not holding. They gave him a holding, but that's that makeup call from the mess up they did before.
You ever play in a game like that, or there was a series or a couple downs when you were playing where there was an egregious call or no call, then all of a sudden, whether it's offense or defense, harps a little bit and they harp a bit.
I think it was Tennessee Titans that we played them in Nashville. Monty Toomer running on the sideline. And Pac-Man Jones, I want to say. Pac-Man Jones is in his hip pocket, like, with him. Clean as a whistle. Goes up and get the ball. And the referee called pass interference on it. I'm like, glad we got the PI. Got us down there where we needed to be. We can punch it in and score. About I don't know, about 2 drives later, maybe 2 drives later, we get the ball back. And Kareem McKenzie, we like 3rd down, like 6 or something like that. Kareem McKenzie kicked, blocked it in. And he blocks him, but the guy gets up even with Kareem. So Kareem shoots his hand, turns and runs with him. They call holding on it. I'm like, holding? Holding? He turning and running with the guy right next to him, just standing between him and Eli. That holding? Ain't no damn holding. That was that makeup call for that pass interference that they called on Tennessee. That wasn't a pass interference.
Was that the Matthias Kiwanuka? The Vince Young play?
Yes, that was the same game. That was the same game.
Yeah. And I think Jones he had a pick in that game later on. Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's the same game.
It's so magnified, though. Like, every time you watch these games and it's 3rd down, it's a incomplete pass, the first thing out of the announcer's mouth is no flag. That's where we're at.
Mm-hmm. So people are looking for the yellow flags more than they're looking at the game. No.
So how do you remedy that? How do you fix that, though? What do you slow the game down and review everything? Like, for instance, the expedited replay. Clearly, Smith did not catch the football. I'm not going to say the outcome's different. Maybe it changes the complexion. Maybe the score's a little more closer.
No, here's what I think. And people might think I'm crazy for saying this, but if they make a call on some BS, and later review the call and see if that was the call that really happened, right? If they got any points off of that particular drive, those points are negated. So if you but I don't know any other way around it.
You have to replay every call.
You can't just sit here and call bad calls and the game stay as is. The game ain't, these guys been working their ass off now. This game is like this. So your bad call that gave them 3 points or 6 points or whatever have you, that shit should be negated, or just on that call. Just on that call. And like nothing else. I don't think there's anything else you can do about it.
So what would you deem reviewable? I would say roughing the passer, pass interference, and holding.
Hands to the face, everything. Hands to the face, reviewable. Of course, blocks in the back, reviewable. All that stuff should be reviewable. Just like the targeting and the roughing the punters and all of that stuff. All of that stuff should be, every call that comes out should be reviewable. You should be able to look at anything.
Yeah, the roughing the passer, that's another thing. If you get blocked into the kicker, how's that your fault? It makes no sense. I don't know, man. I think rigged is a very strong word, but like I said, when you have prominent player or players come out and they say that, all it is throwing gasoline on a fire, man, because now you have to start to incorporate the gambling and the betting. Look, ratings are on an all-time high. So all this nonsense a couple of years ago, no one was going to watch the game anymore. That's a lie. People are going to games, they're buying the merchandise, they're drinking the beer, they're watching on the TV. It's billions and billions of dollars. What's the benefit of, say, a referee? I mean, what's he going to make? Because if the referee's really going to make a substantial amount of money, like say 10 million on the Super Bowl because he's throwing flags, you would see the line movement. You would see the betting line move big
We
time.
talking about a Fortune 500 company. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. If a game is going to be rigged at some point, that's who got a chance to do it. The players isn't going to buy in.
Right, but all right, let's just go on your premise for I'll bite on this. Super Bowl, Eagles in Kansas City. The line right now is Philadelphia is laying 1.5, so we'll just call it 2. Okay, it's moved a little bit. We get it because Mahomes not 100%, and then you see the money starts to be bet on a certain side, so the line moves up and down. Fine. You mean to tell me if we come to learn that a referee was in cahoots and there's a $10 million bet placed on Kansas City and that line jumps 3 to 4 points, that would raise such an eyebrow that we would know. Like, he's not doing it for $5,000 or $50,000 or $100,000. He'd have to really, this is not like what Tim Donaghy did in the NBA, where he was, clicking the whistle here and there. I think in the NBA, you can kind of get away with it a little more.
Yeah.
The NFL, I mean, it's tough to watch sometimes. Like, do they want to slow?
Everybody got to be on board with something like that, though, man. Everybody got to be on board with that in the NFL. You can't just go here and get one person to do this or one person to do that. All the referees got to be in cahoots, right? The offensive and defensive coordinators on both teams got to be in cahoots. Hey, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot that goes into trying to do some shit like this with an NFL game. There's a lot. And I just don't think it really happens like that.
You ever think a player would do that, though? Like, players we've seen years ago in the 60s, some of the players, the Paul Hornings, the Alex Parrish, guys suspended for gambling. But I'm saying a player blatantly disrespecting the game, and let's just say a prominent wide receiver dropping easy touchdown passes in a game, or a prominent quarterback who just looks beyond lost and he looks like a rookie just slinging it and chucking it and throwing horrible picks. I mean, can you even envision that scenario, or is that just beyond sacrilegious and taboo?
I'll tell you this though, watching that like that's what the San Francisco Eagles game looked like on this past weekend. It looked like it was rigged. The way San Fran played on offense with the turnovers that they had, it definitely looked like it was rigged. They couldn't get out of their own way offensively.
Is it because they were that bad offensively and the Eagles were that good?
They were that bad offensively, which is like, God damn, we're just missing a quarterback. Let's get the ball in Christian McCaffrey's hand and Deebo Samuel. Like, let's get the ball into these guys' hand. You don't need a Pro Bowl you don't need a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback to get the ball in Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel's hands, man. You don't need that. So the way it just looked, I mean, snapping the ball, hit off his thumb, his hand, looks at it, goes after it. There's another ball on the ground. He land on the ground looking at the ball, won't fight for it. Like, shit like that. Like, it's like, that game really looked like it could have been rigged. Just that San Francisco Eagles, it definitely looked like it could have been.
Yeah, but I can't believe for 1 minute, even if it started to reek like that, I don't know. I can't imagine a player sitting there and just throwing a game.
Work too hard, and you turn your back on your teammates.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what'd you think of the one Cincinnati player going in the locker room and ripping Osai?
Hey, I mean, he's just saying what everybody else wants to say. That's it.
Yeah, but come on, man. He's a young kid. He's a rookie. He played well. He had a mistake. You're gonna call him out like that?
He was ripped by a young kid too, though. The kid
I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that because how many plays in an NFL game, and you said it yourself, where there's a breakdown, there's a mistake made, right? I mean, would you appreciate it? One of your teammates calling you out like that publicly?
I deserve it, man. At that point, yeah, I definitely deserve it, man. I'm different. My teammates were different. First of all, my teammates would have never did anything like that. And
That's
if
my
they
point.
and if they did, I gotta own up to them, man. I'm sorry, my bad. Like, but they keep harping on it though, like keep telling me the same shit. Like even after I have you know apologized and that I'm punching them in this shit. I'm knocking them out. Keep on talking about the same thing. I told you I apologize. I get I messed up the was. I'm hurting right now. I'm gonna suffer from anxiety for the next 5 years of my life, probably just because of this. And here you go, keep on harping on the same thing, keep on yelling and saying what I should or should not do after I apologize. I'm punching you in your mouth, man. Like, get out of here.
Who got on you the most if you made a mistake?
Well, when I played with Tiki, he did. After that, it was really like nobody. Like, we were like, yo, man, just get it right next time.
And that was it, one and done.
Tiki called me scary once. Like, you get out there in the game and you get scared like you don't know what you're doing. Come on, BJ, you got this. Get right. So I'm not scared. I'm bigger than everybody out here. I just made a mistake.
Was that your rookie year?
Yeah,
you played 1 year with Tiki or two?
2.
Yeah, because then he retired after 2006.
Yep. So,
which was interesting because he took the shot at Eli, and then you guys go on and win.
I don't think he took a shot at Eli. I don't think it was more. I don't think it ain't bad. It was just that it was comical watching them trying to lead. That's all it is. People know what comical is. They shouldn't take it that way.
Yeah. Well, I think it rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way. I think it was perceived. I remember I took it as a shot at Eli, right? Because it's your franchise quarterback. And again, you guys are in that locker room. You know what's going on and what's not going on. How about this, by the way? Super Bowl is being played in Arizona.
I know. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why I didn't want the Eagles to go, because of that. But man, they good and they're gonna win, man.
It's so friggin' annoying because I have to deal with it. And like, I'm almost resigned to the fact that, yeah, I know there's another week to break it down. They have this friggin' ridiculous cocky chip on their shoulder. And it's just, they're on a, and Jalen Hurts, I can't stand the Eagles. I can't stand the head coach. I think he's a jerk off, but whatever. Yeah, he is. He's a jack off. I like
OWF.
Yes. Off. Exactly. Thought.
Yeah, right.
I like Jalen Hurts though. Like the kid basically, he's given an FU to every doubter out there, and he just has this maturity and this leadership, and nothing fazes him. And it's almost as though he knows something we don't know. And I like that about him. There's a little mystique behind that, but there's a quiet confidence. He's a good quarterback, man. He can play.
Definitely. He's going to be the reason why the Eagles win the Super Bowl. He's going to make some plays on his feet there a lot. If you think about Kansas City, they've been playing against all these stationary ass quarterbacks. That's what they've been doing. But Jalen gonna get up out of there. He gonna get up out of there. He won't hesitate to go down the field to AJ Brown. Like, he won't hesitate to make plays in the air as well. So I mean, it's gonna be tough for the Kansas City Chiefs to overcome this game.
I think this game, just at glossing it over, it just reminds me when Tampa Bay beat Kansas City. Their defensive line, they just dominated. Holmes scrambling for his life. He never got settled. Nothing. And speaking of Tampa Bay, so number 12 announced his retirement for the second time. I think he's done. I think Brady is done. You watch the post, you can see he's pretty genuine. He got a little emotional with it. I don't know there's nothing more this man needs to do on a football field. And I go back to what you said, I think it was around October on 27 and Q, when, hey, if you're not all in, then you shouldn't be in. If you're not all in, then
don't be in at all.
Don't be in at all. And again, you don't speculate. It's just a lot of off the field stuff. How does that not, you guys are human, you're not robots. How does it not weigh on your brain with all that stuff going on, family life, and then dealing with dad, and then trying to get up for these games, and then understanding your team's not as good as in years past, and then having to deal with, and I'm sorry, I don't think he's a very good coach, Todd Bowles. I'm not a fan of Todd Bowles. I'm just not. The offense, you can see, it was kind of broken. So you surprised that Brady's retiring?
I am surprised that I'm not surprised. Yeah, they struggled offensively this year. Tampa did, but I don't think that was due to Byron Leftwich. I don't believe that at all. Byron is a young guy, young coach. Been coaching ever since he's been done actually. So I don't think you fired Byron Leftwich though. I mean, Tom Brady didn't have a great year. I mean, that thing was like just a straight noodle on back there. Like he just didn't look the same. Had the same amount of confidence, bolstering type confidence that he had, but I just don't think he was the same quarterback that he's been in the past. I don't know, but like I said, Tampa Bay offensively just wasn't productive at all. And no one's going to tell me that Tom Brady didn't have any say in what plays were called. He's older than Byron Leftwich. He's older than him. I think they had to sit there and come up with stuff together, but Byron was the first one to go. Now, I'm not sure did Tampa talk Tom into retirement? Did they do that? There's a possibility that they may have done that, but because I don't think you fire Byron Leftwich and then go through with a Tom Brady still in your roster when he had some input and calling these same plays.
This year, pull it up. He threw for 4,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 picks, and he completed 490 passes, which is unheard of. Their offense just looked broken. Evans is getting older. Godwin, they were banged up. Now, if they finished 14-3 and lost on a last-second field goal to Dallas, you think Tom Brady's retiring?
No, he's not. He's gonna come back and get another year and just try to get to that game again.
Yeah. I know it's kind of a fruitless debate when everyone talks about, the GOAT, and everyone, they have their own definition, right? I mean, people look at Sunday to Sunday, Peyton Manning, they look at Marino, Elway, Montana, Unitas, Staubach, Rodgers, Brady. His career, I don't think we'll ever see a quarterback go to 10 Super Bowls. We'll never see a quarterback win 7 Super Bowls. We'll never see a quarterback win 5 Super Bowl MVPs. He won 3 MVPs for the league. The numbers are just staggering. Where do you put him? Like, what made Tom Brady such a great quarterback?
Well, I guess it has to be the will of sitting down studying. Just sitting down studying the art of the game like that, like putting a lot of time into it and making sure he has everything covered. Tom Brady is a GOAT quarterback. There's no quarterback that's better than Tom Brady. There's no quarterback that has achieved everything Tom Brady's done. I think Tom Brady because without him being super athletic and being able to run, just imagine the studying he had to do, the players he had to watch, and the way they cover, the way they do stuff. That just depending on the way a guy cover, it tells him the way to throw the ball. Like let me study this defensive back and see what he do. See how often he turns his back to me. Let's see how often he turns and faces the wide receiver and runs and looks back. Like, let's see, what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that he studies. He figures it out and make adjustments. When things you don't know what's going on. So Tom is the GOAT, man. That's all I can say about it.
He had to work to be that quarterback, right?
Absolutely. Nobody gave him nothing because Drew Bledsoe don't go down. He never get in.
Mo Lewis. Mo Lewis
Yeah.
basically changed the complexion of the NFL in two franchises. He knocks out
Right.
Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe never takes another snap again for New England. He goes to Buffalo the next season. Brady wins the Super Bowl. The rest is history. And then Brady turns around and tortures the Jets for 20-something odd years.
Yeah. Yep.
When you look at his career, and obviously you put all the accolades and the championships, and that weighs into the conversation, where do you put a guy like Montana?
Ooh. Of course, you made me sleepy.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously? Hot toddy yourself. Come on, spicy margarita.
Man, it's just with Joe Montana. I don't know. I gotta have Joe in the top 5.
Okay, I'll ask you. Brandon Jacobs, top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Tom Brady, Dan Marino, John Elway, Joe Montana, and Peyton Manning.
Brady, Elway, Montana, Marino, and Manning. Who do you think is going to be, when you look at Patrick Mahomes, are we going to have this conversation about Mahomes in 10 years?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so. You know, I heard Patrick Mahomes talk the other day for the first time in a long time, and he sounded like he can be Ed Ogeron's nephew. You know, not all broken up like that, but the raspiness in his voice, like that. Well, no, I don't think we put him in there the next 10 years.
So you got Herbert. It's a changing the guard, man. Think about it. Eli retires, Peyton retires, Breeze
Man,
retires.
we talking about all time now.
Well, people think right now you're watching a guy that's going to be an all-time great, or in the conversation in what Mahomes does and what he just did on one leg the other day. And the numbers, his career arc, and the thing too, you know, the Giants, McAdoo and his stupid oversized Denny's menu playbook, they wanted to draft Mahomes, but whatever. I'm okay. His numbers are going to be ridiculous. His numbers are already ridiculous. And
they've already won. He's already won one Super Bowl, lost in the NFC champion, the AFC championship game. Now he's going back to the Super Bowl. So he had the body of work to be recognized with anybody. I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. But if you want to go with the quarterbacks that he's playing with now in this era, and I'll give him. I'll definitely put him up in top 2, top 3, no question.
Yeah. It's a change in the guard. I mean, Ryan's probably going to retire. What do you think is going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? You think he goes back to Green Bay? You think maybe he goes to Vegas? You think the Jets are really a serious contender to trade for him?
I think Aaron Rodgers go to a team that has a awesome night scene where he can finally let his hair back, and he don't have to worry about being in Green Bay and Appleton and all of that shit. He can be in a big city where he can turn up and have fun, win, lose a game, and then retire.
So
he can go to Vegas. Who else is out there that's talk about with him?
I thought Brady, if he didn't retire, maybe you were looking at Miami, maybe San Francisco, right? Because San Francisco already said handsome Jimmy G's not coming back. We don't know what Purdy with that injury. He's got to get surgery. And then Lance, he might be on the outside looking in. And you said they might trade Trey Lance. So they might be quarterback depleted. But I don't see, I mean, can you imagine sticking Rodgers in San Francisco with those weapons and that defense?
I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine at all. But again, they got everything it takes but the quarterback. That's with Jimmy G. That's with Lance. They still don't have a legit guy that they can trust and go to.
If Brady didn't retire, the Raiders would have made a move for him. And I think it's going to be Rodgers to the Raiders. I don't know, man. The Jets, he doesn't strike me as a New York guy, man. That
Oh
media
no. Yeah,
every
he liked
day.
to fire back. He liked to fire back and talk, have his retaliation on when, he can't do that in New York. They will roast him every day. They will come up with stuff to just get him, just to see him react.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, they got to take your approach. You just, you go up to the guy and you make him pee his pants.
Yeah, like that's all you wrote the other day, you bastard. And look at it. Now I'm in the media.
That yeah.
Crazy. I used to hate the
Welcome to
media.
our world, right? Now you have to be very, well, I wouldn't say very careful what you say, but how you say it, or how you kind of broach it, or what kind of topic. All right, a couple more before I let you get out of here. You've been watching the NBA at all, or no?
I went to the Laker game when I was out in LA. They
Oh,
played
you
San
did?
Antonio. I went there.
Did LeBron play?
Yeah, he played. Absolutely. His ass played. That's one reason why I went to the game, to see Bron play.
I didn't know if he sat. I'm just asking. I didn't know.
Yeah, they won by 9 points, I want to say. Mm-hmm. So NBA, so you got the Lakers are still, I think they're 12th. They're still out.
They're out. They're
Yeah.
24 and 26. New Orleans is in the 10th spot. Denver, Memphis, Sacramento, Clippers, Dallas, Minnesota, Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah. There's your top 10. Lakers are a couple games out.
Mm. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. I wanted Westbrook to get a ring, but it don't sound like it's gonna happen this year.
No, I mean, speaking of Brady, you look at what LeBron's doing. It's ridiculous. Guy's playing 36 minutes a night and he's averaging 31 points.
He's a beast, man.
And people, again, I look at the player on the field, on the floor, on the court, whatever your stance is, and I appreciate it for being a fan, and I don't know how you cannot appreciate what this man has done. Like, it's just
you're a straight hater if you can't appreciate the things he's done, the groundwork, some of the opportunities that he's opened up for so many other people, just like people opened up for him, man. Like, you are a straight hater if you don't respect that.
It's absolutely, I mean, his number, it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. And he's dropping triple doubles. I mean, that's the league right now. Everyone's scoring like 40 something odd points.
I do want to get this point, this
Yes.
NBA all-time leading score over with. I want to get that over with.
Yeah, but a lot of times with the NBA, it's almost like baseball with career hits, or kind of what Emmett was doing late, and it's compiling, right? I mean, LeBron's already cemented his legacy. Are we right? So does it mean he's the all-time great or the all-time greatest because he has the most points in NBA history? What if he fell one? What if, God forbid, knock on wood, he gets hurt and he falls 1 point short and retires? What does that mean?
I mean, I don't know, man. That's interesting, though. I mean,
he's Mount Rushmore, is he not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I can't compare him to Jordan because they're not the same
They're
player.
not the same player. They don't have the same style. They play different positions. They I don't know, man. LeBron is well deserving of the people who saying he is the greatest. He's well deserving of that. I'll tell you that. I'm a Jordan guy.
You're a Bulls fan. You're a Bulls fan.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a Jordan guy. I'm a Kobe guy, but I respect what LeBron has done. Who am I to say he's not the GOAT? Because everything he's done has been, first and second in the league for years. He's been up there for years, and he's been able to maintain that for years. Getting older, running up and down that hard court, jumping, lower back, he's killing them at times. Knees is killing him at times, and he's still he's out there managing to do the same thing every night, week in, week out. Yeah. You got to give a man some credit, man.
Agree, 100%. Agree. All right, big man. I know it's almost 5 o'clock my time, which means I know we're recording early today. It's hot toddy for you. What? How's the new house coming?
It's awesome, man. It's coming along. We still got boxes and stuff that we need to get picked up. especially ones in the bedroom. We're just moving slow and packing the bedroom. They need to want to see the stuff that's presentable to people. So living room, the kitchen, dining room, stuff like that. That stuff is unpacked, and yeah, but the bedrooms are just our bedroom is just the boys' bedroom is done. And I got some, a few things, but just got to get the master bed in order. That's it. Great area, great neighborhood. Boys love their schools.
Good.
That's awesome.
What's going on with the man cave?
Rich is down there. There's a full unfinished basement. You want to see it?
Let's
full,
yeah. Let's take a walk.
Full unfinished basement down there, so I can really do
We're getting a tour. This is like MTV Cribs, 2070 Q Cribs.
In every house we've been in, we've had an unfinished basement that we finished. We finished while we were there.
Right.
So this is where what's up, big man? It's my dog.
Don't fall down the steps.
Big man right here. What's up, big man? Tell him what's up. You on the podcast, man.
Peeling the curtain back.
Show you. All right, so let me change this thing. Okay, I guess I don't know how to do that. They don't not giving me the option to flip it.
Or just put it in front of you and turn your back towards me.
Okay, so
there you go.
I just walk down these stairs right here.
Yeah.
Right. So we got all of this space right here.
Oh wow.
Open. Got some fridges down here. Then you come over here. We got all of this space. Got all of this space, big room.
Oh.
Got some boxes of stuff that we had in our garage. It's another room right there, which I think I'll probably do my stuff right there. And then you got this little area right here. Got all this stuff in there from outside. But it's a full basement that's underneath the house. That's that obviously like under the house. And we're gonna get it finished up whenever we figure out what it is we want to do with it. We're gonna get it all finished up, and I'll come back down.
Put a little gym down there, a little mini bar.
Yeah, I had a gym. I got a gym in the old house. Yeah, the gym's gonna go down here. Probably not as much stuff as we have in the other house, but we're gonna get it fixed up, man. And I'll be down here doing my radio show in 27 Q.
Will you have it designated? Will you have it designated smoking and joking corner or no?
No, this is my house. I can do that wherever I like. I pay cash for this joker, man. I can do that wherever I like. If I want to be in my living room doing it, I'll be in my living room doing it. If I want to be outside, I'll be outside. Like,
who am I? Who is lead? Is smoking legal down there?
No, it's not.
Who am I to judge a man who pays cash?
Oh, I thought you was talking about hookah.
No.
Oh man, I did just leave California though. It was awesome being there.
So funny story, right? Yeah. So funny story with the audience. I'm doing the stream in Atlantic City for the fights in Mexico. I see the big man's mug on the phone. I pick it up and all I hear is, I cannot watch this effing shit. I'm going to it. And I said, you might as well have a little smoky time. And what did you say? Where were you going to in California?
The dispensary. That's where you go when you're dealing with shit like that. What you saw, like that was piss poor, man.
You were numb to it, having some munchies, so don't worry about it. All right,
that was piss poor.
So
I ended up not going though because it was far away, and I didn't really want to pay Uber that much. So
you don't want to get lost coming back.
So that's my thing. Though I was downtown LA.
Yeah,
easy to get an Uber down there like anywhere. But where this place was, I'm like, there's no Uber. I'm not gonna have to wait 30 minutes till somebody come pick me up. So I never went.
I hear you. And I don't blame you. There's always time for that down the road. All right, where are you going to be on this weekend on ESPN Radio? Do we know yet?
I will be here in Atlanta. I'll get the station. I will get the I will get all the info and
Okay.
I'll get it to you.
All right. All right. So then I can make it known for the public.
Make it known for the public. We got a new radio host in the building, and I'm about to turn up with it too. I'm about to turn all the way up with it.
Oh my God. All right. So as you always say, even in your new casa, tell the people what they want to hear.
Hey, everybody, here we go. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy this wonderful Friday and this wonderful weekend we got coming ahead of us. Live with good humanities. Love your neighbor. Yes, sir. No, sir. Please and fucking thank you. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And yeah, let's check out. They got the Pro Bowl this week, right? The Pro Bowl this week?
Yeah, I think
it's flag football, I heard.
I think it's flag football.
Yeah, you got to be pissing on me telling me it's raining. I'm not watching that. But anyway, everybody, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in. Like our channel, go like our YouTube, comment, share. Let's go.
There you have it for the two-time Super Bowl champ from the New York Football Giants, number 27, Brandon Jacobs. I'm Rich Quinones. As the big man said, have a good sports week. We'll do it again next week. We'll find out where the big man's going to be on the radio, and we'll get that out on social. Subscribe, comment, like. Always appreciate you, brother. Have a good one.
Yes, sir, brother. You too.
All right.